After 24 league games last season, Marcus Rashford had 4 goals and 1 assist to his name. And by the end of that campaign, 16 matches later, he'd added just a single assist to his league tally for the year. With Manchester United making a dismal start to the season and Cristiano Ronaldo dropping the bomb and then jumping the ship, it looked like Rashford was headed for another season to forget. But 24 games into the current campaign, the striker is suddenly in the form of his life and spearheading United's resurgence both in the league and in Europe. Only Erling Haaland and Harry Kane have more Premiership goals this season, but it's Rashford's form since returning from the World Cup that's making waves through the footballing world. Since late December last year, the United striker had racked up 10 goals in 10 Premier League matches, a hit rate that makes 25-year-old the hottest striker in any of Europe's top 5 leagues. To put those numbers in context, PSG's front three of Messi, Neymar and Mbappe combined have scored 1 fewer goal between them in that time frame, while Chelsea's entire first-team squad have found the net just 6 times in total since Christmas. Expanded to all competitions, Rashford has an even more impressive 16 goals in 17 matches, taking his tally for the season to 24. That's already his highest scoring campaign, and it's still only February, with 14 matches left to play. If the striker can keep up this scoring rate, he could be on course to end the season with 30 goals in all competitions, becoming the first United player to do so since Robert Van Persie a decade ago. And Rashford's form is coming at just the right time for Erik ten Hag, as the club embarks upon its biggest week of the new manager's reign. On Thursday, Rashford will seek to add to his tally against Barcelona in United's delicately balanced Europa League clash at Old Trafford, before heading to Wembley on Sunday for the Carabao Cup final in search of the Red Devils' first piece of silverware in 5 long years. And there you have it, the cold hard truth. Marcus Rashford is the best striker in world football right now. 16 goals since the World Cup. It's better than Karim Benzema, the Ballon d'Or winner. Better than Erling Haaland. Victor Osimhen, who everyone's saying is the next big thing in world football, probably is. As I'm joined by Albert and Mikey, all joking aside, I mean, this kid is pretty special, right? We thought when he broke through in 16, 17, around there, we thought this guy could be something really special. Had some really good seasons for Manchester United. But he's taken it to a brand new level. He's been pretty good throughout most of the campaign, but since Ronaldo left, I'm not saying that's a reason, but maybe it is.
Mikey will say it's the reason.
He'll say it's a reason.
Because he has.
I think there's a lot of evidence to suggest that it is a big part of the reason. He's been unstoppable.
He's doing it every week, and that was the biggest question, as you mentioned. Like, we saw glimpses of it throughout his whole career of how special of a player that he could be. But he's doing this week in, week out, consistently. And the confidence that he's playing at right now we haven't seen it yet from Marcus Rashford. When you look at his first goal on the weekend, and you had, I think it was Garnacho making the run, you just lay it off to Garnacho, that's an easy tap in. Marcus Rashford said, no, I'm in form, this is my team, I'm taking this, and decided to just smash it home. That's the type of mentality, the type of mental state that he's in right now, where he's found his groove, and yeah, I mean, you said it, he's the most informed striker right now.
It's swagger, it's confidence, and it seemed for whatever reason he lost it all for almost a couple of years.
Yeah.
He didn't look like he was
months?
enjoying himself, maybe 18 months, yeah. He wasn't smiling out there, he looked dejected. The team wasn't playing great, in fairness, as well. And he was going through a lot through COVID as well. Don't forget, this guy campaigned to the British government to appeal to fix child poverty and school dinners and meals. And he got it. He fixed it. This is a footballer, a kid, a young footballer, affecting change at the top levels of the British government. He had a lot on his mind, obviously. So I think we can understand why there may be a problem on the pitch. But he's rediscovered where we thought he'd be. And I think you give so much credit, Albert, to a guy that's one of the more likable footballers in the world, which as a Liverpool fan, is extremely difficult for me to say.
I think people forget that footballers, athletes are humans too. And what happens off the pitch, there's a lot going on with families. And I mean, running that, I don't know what to call it, I guess a campaign or working with the government to end hunger for children in the UK and for single mothers, that's a lot to take on for someone his age. And you're also a Manchester United player, so you're under the microscope for that. You're an English player. Manchester United is constantly in the news for its dysfunction at the top and not getting things right, and ex-players coming out and saying that United need to figure this out. You fire this manager, get rid of this player. So being under that, that's a lot to deal with. You know, I've just been watching the Netflix series Full Swing on the PGA Tour, and they did an episode on Tony Finau, player, and it was kind of like, why hasn't this fantastic player won a major? Why isn't he winning more often? And they dug deep into that. He has a really big family, and his family's been traveling with him, and they had a death in the family, and that's one of the reasons why he brought his family with him to these tournaments. So it was distraction, and even he admitted, listen, having this with me, I need to have my family to be with them, but it is some sort of distraction. And I think that's what Marcus Rashford went through. And now, a lot of the distractions are gone. He's not really dealing with that government stuff anymore. Ronaldo's gone, who's a massive distraction. They finally got a manager who has a system, who has a way of playing. A lot of positivity around Manchester United. That's going to help a player. And I think he's found his form and his confidence for those reasons.
I guess to your point, his celebration, his trademark celebration, he admitted that he is in a really bad place last year.
Totally.
Right? So when he points to his head and
Yeah.
does that whole
It's
celebration.
going viral, but everyone's doing
Everybody.
it. in the world now.
Everyone's doing it, yeah. So he wasn't the first one to do it, but that's why he does a celebration, because how important it is for him to stay mentally right, and
Right.
he is right now mentally right. But you're right, it's a huge part of what's
You can
happening
see
right now.
how he plays. You can see the confidence in his play. He wasn't doing that before. He wasn't taking players on that way. Now he plays on the shoulder of every defender. Most of his goals are right on the line of offside. He's right
Oh,
there.
yeah. Well, there's the one on the weekend, the
Yeah.
second goal, I think it was.
And then once he
I
gets
thought it was offside.
once he gets to step on any defender right now, he's faster than all and
yeah.
powerful.
Well, I think you give Ten Hag so much credit too, because
Yes.
this is a really he's a left winger by trade who has always wanted to play more centrally, and now he's playing more centrally with Ten Hag, and it's working beautifully. Also, Ten Hag obviously understands the human element of football, like you mentioned there, Albert. I think Sir Alex Ferguson was brilliant at that as well. Maybe the guys that he's played under since then haven't quite had the same understanding, because Ten Hag's gone playing with that confidence, that swagger, that he's loving football again, right? And it's a sport. I mean, listen, they are human, but you should enjoy your trade. You're playing football for a living, right? If you don't enjoy it, something's gone very wrong. I think it's fantastic. He's been injury-free, which is a big point too, because
Yeah.
the last couple of years he's missed quite a few games. That's a big thing. I don't think he's missed one game through injury so far this season. 0.64 goals per game compared to 0.58 up until this point. So the future is pretty bright if you're United and Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, and look at Ten Hag challenged him. He's like, I think he said 34, 35 goals that he thinks Rashford can hit. I think he can score 30. I mean, the last time that was done was Van Persie back in 2012, 2013 for a Manchester United player. He's on what, 24?
24.
So, you know,
yeah.
6 more, 14 games left in the Premier League. You're still in the Europa League. You got the Carabao Cup coming up. He's going to do it.
He's going to do it. And not only that, when you said about Ten Hag, first thing he said to him apparently was that, I want to see you smile. Right? And that's what kind of you were alluding to. Football's supposed to be fun. Let's make this fun again for Marcus Rashford. And he's doing that. Ten Hag's, we got to give a lot of credit to Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Because he's got Marcus Rashford to buy in to not only, you know, being that dynamic attacking player, but also when you look at him off the ball, the types of runs he's making, as you mentioned, a lot of his goals are now on the back shoulder. He's consistently moving, making those runs. And he used to see last season when he would make one run and he doesn't get the ball, he'd get incredibly frustrated or tune off. Or when he plays without the ball and he's pressing, he's tracking back. He's moving a lot more right now, and it seems like he's doing so with a smile on his face, which I
mature.
think is so important right now.
Well, it makes you wonder, do they now need that number 9 this summer? Which has
That's a
been
good
mentioned for a long
question.
time.
Maybe it's
they
the
haven't.
type of number 9, right?
Yeah.
Wout Weghorst, who I obviously love bringing up all the time. He's not scoring goals, but he does everything else, and
Really
he creates space for the players around him, like Marcus Rashford. He moves out of the way, drags defenders out, so Rashford can get those opportunities. I think that's what Rashford needs, because if you can get your Marcus Rashford playing on the left to score 15 to 20 goals, you don't necessarily need that from your number 9, because you're going to get it from him, and then Garnacho or Sancho or Anthony. Huh?
Sancho,
Right?
Again, another
But that's
guy
what I'm
who's just
saying.
come
Another
back
guy.
from a mental issue,
There you go.
and he's
Another guy.
responded with, you know, it's been 2 games, but he's been absolutely brilliant in both of them.
And apparently he's getting praised, Ten Hag, again, for the way that he handled that situation.
He said, "Go away,
Yeah.
fix yourself up,
Good manager. I mean, think about the managers Rashford has had. Mourinho, Van Gaal,
Oli."
all filled with controversy. There's a dark cloud over Manchester United for a long time.
Yeah.
A very long time. It's hard to, as a player, I think, to develop under that.
Well, and
need some
now
positivity.
They're back in the title race now. It's fair
Yeah.
to say, right?
they
They're
are.
back
Oh,
in
yeah.
the title race.
Oh, yeah.
That is what, 5 points?
5 points. Arsenal's
close.
one more
Why
game
not?
in hand. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, and you know, like I said, you know, for the neutral out there, Marcus Rashford, one of the good guys in world football, you want to see him do well, and that smile, when you see him smile now, it's like, yeah, everything's right with the world,
Yeah.
even though he plays for Manchester United.
Get out of here, Sean.
And he wears long sleeves. I'm big with the long sleeves. I love it.
Old school.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got skinny arms.
He looks pretty jacked these days, actually. Yeah.
well,
Look at him. Look
should
at him.
be
It's
tight
looking
short
yoked
sleeves
up,
in
huh?
there.
Really a little yoked.